Man,
Yo,
I timed that good. That
what? You
was
picked up the button and pushed
yeah,
the button at the same time.
that was spot on.
That's what we're looking for. Timing. It is absolutely everything in life. Timing.
I mean, after over 3 years of practice, you would think that we'd figure it out by now.
More often than not. More often than not, we nail it, nail on the head, perfect. Every once in a while, though, there's a hiccup. Like you hit the nail on the side and it bends, and you got to tap it back. It never goes in straight. It's a mess. However, more often than not, you hit the nail on the head, so we're good.
Yeah, we try over here.
We try.
On very minimum hours of sleep, we try.
Yes.
Let's see, who do we have in the chats tonight? Over on Twitch, we have Hunter, Jen,
And Jen, what's happening over there?
and a few more shy ones. And over here, we have Arius. We
Some
just saw
lurkers.
it tonight,
Arius.
15 minutes ago. All right.
What's it like having to get real close to Curtis Cole and actually have to pass him a microphone? Like, do you have to, like, not inhale at that moment just from all the filth that comes off of that man all the time? That's got to be a tough thing to do. Kudos to Arius for even getting that close to Curtis Cole tonight on Ignition. Rough. But he's a hell of a guy. He could take it.
Yeah,
He could do it.
Poor Lucas.
Lucas also took the brunt from that Neanderthal. My goodness. Lucas still a little shaken up, though. He got through tonight, though. He got through tonight a lot better than he did the other week. So it looks like he's doing a little better. Him and Stone, I got to say one thing, and I'm going to say this. This is from reels from like 100%. Derek Stone is very, very good on commentary. I like Derek Stone on commentary. He has filled in and done a fantastic job. Him and Lucas are very, very good. I know we've said some things about Derek Stone on the side, but one thing that we will not be able to rib or anything else is his commentary. It's very good.
All right.
I had to get that off my chest. That's
Get that off your chest.
Shoot.
You good?
That's shoot. I was watching tonight and I'm just like, I gotta say something. Gotta say something. And his choice of the flannel under the cloak was exemplary. Must have been cold.
Oh, it's cold around this time down there.
It is cold.
It's supposed to be cold up here.
Well, you know, during the day, I guess we'll take 40 in February, but at nighttime, it's been going down.
Tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, tomorrow for like 3 hours, and then it'll be 26 for the next 20. But no, the middle of the days have been nice the last couple, well, like week, ever since, you know, the polar finger of doom came down from the top of the earth and touched us all, broke pipes everywhere. That wasn't fun for a couple days.
No, that wasn't pleasant.
No. Hunter's saying it's 75 where he's at.
Oh,
Down the hot land of America.
Shut up. No one wants to hear about your 70+ degree weather in the middle of February, okay?
All right, well, this will make you feel better. Mr. Fourth Row says it's 26 right now in Inglewood.
Now, see, that sounds about right for February.
26 in the wood. That's right.
About right.
That's February. That's February.
Right. All right. You guys ready? Are you ready? Because you're the only guy there.
Let's do it.
All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Dudes and Bells Reignited post show here on Twitch. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, as always, and we got another banger of a show to talk about tonight. Before we get into all of that, let's introduce the panel for the evening. And by panel, once again, is just this one dude that you see in front of you right now. He is your resident masshole himself, the one and only Marky Pins.
I am the masshole. Let me tell you something about tonight. This masshole was a happy masshole watching all these matches. There were some very, very good matches, pay-per-view level matches, as they were called. We had Damon Ace versus Remy D. Balaam Lynx versus Sky Horseman at the end of the show turned out to be absolutely fantastic. And then there was Johnny Casanova doing more Bill Lambier things. But otherwise, the rest of the show was an absolute banger. Kendrick LaRoe showing a lot of moxie, a lot of resilience. We're going to get through all of it starting right now.
And by right now, I mean immediately right now, because we're going to get right into the opening contest of the evening.
Right now.
Ignition. Yeah, right now.
Right meow.
Yeah.
Right meow.
First matchup on the docket tonight was Curtis Cole going up against the rookie sensation himself, McDiamond.
Mick's showing a lot of things to a lot of people. Derek Stone speaking highly of him on commentary. You get that veteran kind of presence there that's showing some confidence in you. Mick Diamond puts up a great fight tonight against Curtis Cole. We see that fighting spirit in the young man. He's got it. There's no need to teach him to keep moving forward. He just keeps moving forward. His following up on some things, though, that may be he needs to work on a little bit of some of the chaining. But I'm telling you right now, the kid just keeps moving forward. Curtis Cole playing mind games with him as usual. Curtis Cole grabbing the microphone before the match, playing mind games with everybody in the arena, yelling at people, telling them to shut up, messing with Lucas on the side. The guy just goes through the most traumatic thing I think a person can go through, getting thrown into the old rickety van and finding his way back. And, being okay, more, better for the wear anyway. Still a little bit of, kind of in trouble up here a little bit. Lucas, we're here for you, bro. If you need anybody to talk to, we here. But Curtis Cole just doing all them things, man, just messing with Mick. But when Mick does get his hands on him, I'm telling you, he's doing the right thing. Oh, and I'd like to message one other thing. Curtis Cole was almost decapitated tonight should David Drake have made a different decision. He calls out Drake, and then the lights go out, and we see the real Curtis Cole, who was basically hiding behind anybody that would hide him, and basically changed his tune real quick.
So that's all it takes?
All I had to do was shut the lights off for 10 seconds. And Cole changed his tune really quick. Let me tell you that much right now. And Mick takes advantage of this dude. Mick sees that Cole might still be a little shook and just keeps running after him and just shots. He's got the fighting spirit. He just keeps running at him. They trade what I am calling slaps of doom. It's not the finger of doom, not thumb of doom, but he trades slap of doom with each other, keeping each other on the derriere, or the posterior, if you will. But Mick stays focused, and he keeps going forward. He keeps moving forward, getting Cole down, taking him off his feet, taking Cole out of his game. And that's kind of bugging Cole. You can tell the frustration's building as the crowd gets more and more on Mick's side. Cole gets more and more flustered, and you could tell that he's just getting ticked off. Finally, both of them get back in there. Mick does a great job at blocking and just really dead weighting his body against Curtis Cole. Curtis Cole's the obvious bigger and stronger opponent. But Mick does a good job of holding on and blocking these big overhead suplexes that Cole's going for. Just can't get him locked in. Keeps getting him down. Finally, Cole with the nice go behind and the quick chicken wing. There's the XP bar. Right there. You got to give it to Curtis Cole. Seeing that he's not going to be able to wrestle this match, get the kid in one fast move, and he does at the end. Locks that chicken wing on. And even still, Mick Diamond fighting with every single heartbeat that he's got on the inside, man. Trying to fight this chicken wing. Trying to get to a rope. Anything. He can't. He has to tap out, and Curtis Cole pulls a W out of here. Just another knucklehead doing things his way, but getting a win. Mick Diamond looking good. One of his best outings, if not his best outing, against a more experienced veteran, Johnny, like Curtis Cole here. I think the kid's doing pretty good for himself.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, he doesn't have a win in the win column yet, but he's definitely showing a lot of improvement as he continues on his young career here at Rocky Mountain Pro. And Curtis Cole, I mean, as you expect, the XP bar was a little bit too much for Mick Diamond, and that was expected as well. I mean, I don't think I would have given Mick Diamond a big chance to win. I would have gave him a small chance, but you never know in this business. Upsets have happened. We've seen a lot of them recently here at Rocky Mountain Pro over the past year, but this one was probably going to go to Curtis Cole either way.
I agree.
But the experience that you get being in the ring with Curtis Cole is an experience that you will take with you to your trainings and to your next match and so on and so forth. So either way, Mick Diamond lost, but at the same time, he definitely won a little bit by getting that extra rep in there with an experienced veteran like Curtis Cole. As much as we give him a hard time because he gives us a hard time, but...
Right, but in the ropes, it's very hard to deny his talent and his skill, and his experience is going to be greater than most. But I'll give Mick this. There was a good part of the early third of this match where he had Cole on his heels. And I bet you money, as you were watching it, you started thinking maybe that percentage of Mick maybe getting a victory here or an upset might have gone from 10, 15%, maybe up to 20, 25, and you're starting to pay attention. throwing Cole off his game, backing him off, not giving him the suplexes, doing the right things. I would just recommend a little bit quicker follow-ups sometimes. There was a few times he got Cole in a move, got Cole down, and kind of just stood there and waited for it to come back to him. Stay on that, man. Go over there, a couple boots, maybe drop a leg. Never know against a guy like Cole, who's probably seen so much of it, but he hasn't seen what you can bring of it yet. And he surprised him a little bit. I think he's close to something. Mick is definitely close to something.
We're going from one big match to another big match here. We had Briscoe Crown going one-on-one with Atiba here.
This was really, really good match. Atiba owns, and even if Briscoe was here, he'd have to admit it. Atiba owns the first, third of this match. No matter what Briscoe tries to do, Atiba's too strong. He comes out real hard off the gate with just the power, just shoving Briscoe around, some shots. Big backdrop gets Briscoe down. He just keeps that advantage. Atiba locks a really cool armbar on the mat, but not just with the armbar. We talk sometimes about the wrestlers that put the knee in the back. Well, Atiba raised that one, he kind of upped that ante a little tiny bit, put the knee right into Briscoe's ribs. So now as he's trying to fight, his arm hurting. Now he's trying to fight, not being able to take as deep of a breath now. Some extra pain coming from an extra side. So Atiba, this is, again, some XP bar stuff that we look at, and you do a move one way in year 2 or 3, but in year 6 or 7, you've learned that extra, that little extra spice that they throw on the steak at the end just to make it mwah. And that's what you do. And Atiba knows all those spices to make the moves a little bit spicier so he can add that little extra layer of punishment. Once Briscoe, though, does get up and he does able to quick up the pace of the match, he does very, very well. He manages to get around Atiba, get a bunch of reversals, and just show how technically gifted he is. For such a young guy and such a new guy, look, he's in year 2 or 3 now. Keeping up with Atiba like this, reversal for reversal, is fantastic. Atiba has no choice but to go back to the big power moves. Clothesline, big side slam, keeping that advantage. Briscoe finally learns that Mick did it in the first match. I'm going to do it here in my match. And he manages to block a big suplex from Atiba just by not letting it get up. And it was really cool. Flips it back over after the kick and a couple punch into a really quick sunset flip. It was almost like a bang, bang, bang sequence. Next thing you know, Atiba's on his back kicking, trying to get out of a pinfall. He just had the advantage 10 seconds ago. So this is really good back and forth. And Atiba's kind of going to school on the kid, too, saying, I can't take him lightly. Maybe the power's not going to work. I got to catch him in something. We see a huge crossbody. Atiba tried to catch him, and he caught all of them. Unfortunately, he couldn't roll it back over. But the second crossbody, Atiba gets hip to it. He dodges it, basically gets out of the way of it. You see Briscoe kind of roll over. It looked like he might have rolled his ankle or twisted it. I hope he's okay. I hope that was just a little bad angle that we saw in the camera. I hope there's nothing wrong there. But then Atiba gets him up for that quick flapjack bomb. And then the big ankle lock, because I think Atiba saw that too. We all kind of saw it. Lucas pointed it out on commentary. We get the ankle lock, and Briscoe's this close, man. This close to the ropes, to breaking it. And then Atiba sees it, pulls him back. Briscoe has to tap, or else his foot is going to start doing 360s, and we don't want that at all. So Atiba getting a great win in a match that Briscoe came from behind in a lot of the match to really match quickness with power and get Atiba on his heels. But it was just that last second, Atiba paying attention to that crossbody, seeing the ankle was hurt, and going right after it for the win. Atiba looking good, John. Looking very, very good. We saw him the other night working with Bruce Waynes. I know I wasn't here, for the show, but I saw Charged, and we see Atiba working with him and stuff. Atiba's feeling good and riding high. Now, about Briscoe, do you think that this in any way is hurting him? Do you think that he can come back from a loss like this, even though Atiba has been that hot?
Oh, please. He's the bracket buster, man.
I feel you. I just want to know where you're coming from.
Briscoe, in my mind, is on the precipice of hitting that next level in terms of taking that next step into a much more prominent role and in a much more prominent position within the company right now. His first year was fantastic. I believe he was runner-up for the Rookie of the Year last year, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of votes. And,
yes, he was.
I mean, he has all the potential in the world to really do some good things in Rocky Mountain Pro, and this match doesn't surprise me. I mean, it should have been down to the wire. Even though Atiba's got that XP and he's extremely experienced, two-time Rocky Mountain Pro heavyweight champion, Briscoe took him to the limit.
He did.
So now going back to Atiba, I don't know if you've noticed. I think Atiba is turning a little bit of a new leaf. New leaf as in not, being his old Atiba from back in the day, the Rocky Mountain Dragon. But he's not getting himself disqualified much anymore. He's not using that low blow. He's not trying to get the easy way out. He's finishing his matches now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's building that confidence back in a different way than we're used to seeing.
If he
what are your
had
thoughts
that
on that?
I completely agree with you. We've noticed it in the last few matches. He hasn't had to just go lower for the sake of the hell with this match. I don't want to be here. I'm just going to uppercut a guy in the Goonies, and so what if I get disqualified? He's been wrestling out the full match. Do you think that we could even bring this back to Aces Wild? I know he lost that traditional classical wrestling match with Yaden. However, he was in it until the 11th hour. They went to overtime, and he matched wit for wit, skill for skill with the head of the company, a guy who's regarded as the measuring stick in Rocky Mountain Pro, the standard, the man. And it's been since then, and honestly, maybe a week or two before then, that he hasn't been doing that. I think you're right, John. I think it's a confidence that says that he doesn't have to be a nice guy. Nothing says you have to be a nice guy. But you also can go out there and prove what you can do week in and week out. That's what got him the gold the first time.
I mean, we've always known that he has it. We've always known
maybe
that
that could be what that could ease. Oh, absolutely. When he was just the dragon, and when we came out and he loved us and we loved him, we saw him wrestle classical, beautiful matches, technical matches, knowing what he can do. The sky's only the limit. It's the only limit for the man. Maybe he's looking for some more gold pretty soon.
We also have Lucas in Twitch chat right now.
There he is. Mr. Bradwell, how are you, sir?
As he's doing better, taking it day by day.
Mm-hmm. Look good on the show tonight, bud. Sounded good. Hope everything's all right. I know Curtis Cole was kind of an ass. What else is new there? But
there's nothing new with that.
No, I'm glad he powered through that, though. Him and Stone called a great show. Very great show. Good, man. Glad he's in the chat. Glad you stopped by for the show, bud.
All right, we're going to move on here. And like you said earlier, before we started this, it's a pay-per-view quality match on paper. Damon Ace going up against your charge champion, Remy D.
And then we saw a match that was pay-per-view quality in the ring. They brought all of that. The only thing I wish they had was honestly 5 more minutes of this match. Damon Ace and Remy D is enough to make anybody sit down, shut up, stop what you're doing, and watch this right now. Very good between both. For Damon Ace's style right here, the bigger, more powerful, which is hard to say when Remy's in the ring, but he is the bigger wrestler. He is the more powerful. It's important for him to null out Remy's quickness. It's also going to be very important for Remy D here to step up some of the power game, because some of the shots that you throw, they will knock down most everybody. Damon Ace is not most everybody. Everything has to be 1.25 times faster, 1.25 times more impact for it to affect Damon in the same way it affects most other people. And both of these athletes did a great job of that tonight. Damon starts out with a lot of power, grounding Remy D in the middle of the ring. He had a really strong leg headlock on him, had leg scissors on him, would not let Remy kick out of it. Remy had to return the slap of doom to Damon to kind of throw him off balance. You could tell it threw him all off. That was the last thing he was expected, to get slapped in the posterior, but that's exactly what happened. However, Remy D says, bring it back on, and then that's what happens, man. The power level just gets turned up between the two of them. I like seeing Remy go to this place that he doesn't always. His moves, but with that extra bit of kaboom on them, and it's great to see. Remy does great in the corner with a splash, a bunch of body shots. He does that beautiful rolling snapmare with the boot to the face afterwards for extra measure. And Damon just comes back with even more power on his side. This is going to be his MO no matter what. He's always going to hit you with something that's going to be a giant impact and then keep you in that spot that you landed, be it a chin lock, be it an arm bar. Damon is brilliant like that. He knows not to let the faster guy up and running around. And this is a textbook match. If you like big guy versus big guy matches, this is a match that you want to go back and watch over and over again. Fantastic between the two of them. Remy hits his patented snake eyes with the big boot that we see, gets a near fall out of that. As we see 30 seconds later, Damon takes Remy in the corner and takes him up in the reverse fireman's carry, like the inverted, so that his chest was facing straight up, and flips him onto the corner with an inverted snake eyes and returns the receipt to the face. Fantastic wrestling between both intelligence, both showing power, both showing intelligence in the match. I love watching it. Damon keeps him down after that boot. Like I said, he puts the knee in the back and he gets the arm stretch. And just, we see how flexible Remy D is. And John, you and I are quite normal, average men. We don't flex like this. Many humans can't do this.
I will be sent to the hospital so quick.
With so many tears.
That flexible. So many pull ligaments, so many tears, so much everything. Everything would have went wrong.
Near enough ice, not enough icy hot. They don't have enough in the factory to help mere mortals like us.
No Bengay, no nothing.
But Remy just gets stretched. We see Damon take the arms behind him and then put a boot to the back of the neck and flatten Remy's torso while Remy's in a split. Remy, I'm glad that you could manage to have the fortitude to get back out of this, because that was like a match-ending move to most everybody else. But we see just how strong the man's core is, that he fights back up and he's getting back up. He ends up flipping Damon over him in just a fit of, I need some space, get out of here. Damon comes back, bang, spine buster. There it is. Big, huge impact, keeps you down. We get a close near fall. Remy and Damon fight up. Now Damon's exhausted at this point too. Both of these guys know that they've been in one hell of a war. And tomorrow morning, it's going to hurt a lot more, man. These two guys put each other through hell. Remy hits the Luthez press. He didn't get it earlier in the match. The rolling knee that he does in the reverse splash. Beautiful textbook. Damon gets up and blocks the figure four. He's right about to lock his own version of his leg lock, the Boston Crab that he does so well. By the way, Damon, thanks for doing a Boston move. Appreciate that, bro. And then right as he's about to get the crab in, we hear the bell. There's no interference. There's no nothing. These two guys wrestled to a 10-minute time limit gem. John, in this match, we saw everything. We saw struggle. We saw resilience. We saw power. We saw speed. We saw intelligence. Is this over with these two guys? You think this is over? I mean, Remy's got his plate very full, and so doesn't Damon right now. But you think this is over?
Why would it be over? These guys still has many more years with each other and against each other. Remy's the charged champion. Damon had to step up and made sure that he was definitely worth his number one contender shot for the NRW championship and never broken.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he had to perform. Remy had to perform just to keep his role going, keep his momentum on track. And I'm not really surprised, because you would think this would be a mismatch of some sort. But Remy is the big match competitor.
He is.
Whenever there's a big match on the line, he performs, and he most of the time comes out successful. And let's not forget, we have a Grand Prix tournament coming up.
That's true. That's right around the corner.
Yeah, Remy knows all too well about that tournament. And his performance. So, and these two have faced each other before. For that, I believe at the time, Twitch title.
Yes.
So
I think it was when Damon was the Twitch champion.
And it was another banger of a match. Good quality match. You know, so this match doesn't surprise me. These two are going to get along very well in the ring. Whether they see eye to eye or they don't. These two will be together for a very long time, I think, in Rocky Mountain Pro. And I think we'll be seeing more classics.
They make fantastic rivals. They have great matches against each other. Similar styles, but completely different flavors. It's like the same language. They both speak the same language, but they speak very different dialects. However, when they get in the ring, they both completely understand each other. It's really great match to watch.
Always is.
Yes.
And of course, the entrance from Remy always gets a pop out of everybody.
I got the music in my head again. Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 do.
There you go.
Love it. But yeah, hell of a match. Time limit draw. Don't see that too often.
We've been seeing it a lot recently. There's been a few matches recently that have reached time limit draws. The one on Charge last week was.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
These matches are getting more competitive over here in Rocky Mountain Pro. All right, moving on. Kendrick LaRoe. Also trying to keep his spot in this little chase for 5. Obviously, we have 2 competitors right now for that Ignition Championship decided, but I believe we are still keeping track of points for a new number 1 contender after that match. So matches are still important here. Kendrick LaRoe going one-on-one with Johnny Casanova, one half of your reigning tag team champions.
Yeah.
Your buddy.
Yeah. Hi, Johnny. By the way,
Hi.
I heard that the Peak Awards arrived in Denver. So,
it took about a month.
That's FedEx ground. It took a while. It took a while. It was like 2 weeks. It took like 2 weeks to get there. It used to be like 4 or 5 days, but it takes a while. But either way, I know they made it. We all know they made it safe and sound. Johnny Casanova, from everything Maki Pins is, please enjoy your reward. So tonight we see Casanova go one-on-one with Kendrick, singles action, both tag team guys. But we see singles action here tonight. We've seen Casanova go as a singles competitor. He's good. He has his resilience. He's quick. Kendrick LaRoe, lately anyway, has had a lot more, I think, success and experience in the singles matches. However, you're still matching up one-on-one here. It's a David versus Goliath, big man versus quicker, smaller guy match. Casanova's still channeling his inner Detroit Piston, Bill Lambier kind of mojo moving forward. Still wearing the mask. That nose must still be wicked tender. Casanova obviously was worried about it because he starts running around the ring, trying to goad Kendrick into chasing him. Kendrick obliges after a minute. He's getting sick and tired of the garbage. And then he gets in the ring, and Johnny tries to make a run at him, and that was really dumb because Kendrick has a shoulder the size of a Volkswagen, and Casanova met it head on, like a bug hitting a windshield, basically, for that part. Big body slam out of Kendrick. Big Beal across the ring. Kendrick slips up real quick right here, though. He comes in for the big boot in the corner. Casanova gets out the way, and Kendrick gets his boot caught up in the top. Now, as he's caught up in the thing, referee Spice is trying to help him get out of it. First thing Casanova thinks about doing is going to the other corner and taking off the turnbuckle. So that was the thing that happened. And we're all sitting here like, why? What are you doing? But then we figured it out quickly. He goes back over and he picks up Kendrick and the whip into the corner, and Kendrick hits that exposed turnbuckle hook, ribs first. And now Johnny has an opening. Johnny sees the ribs. Kendrick is hurting in the ribs, so he sees it, and he goes right after it, man. Just punches and kicks, just shots into it. Casanova's really, he sees his opening. So now you got Kendrick's leg that's hurting. You got his ribs that are hurting. Everything's really kind of hurting. It's going to be difficult for the big man to muster up a lot of energy in the upper body or even stand up and give any, if he tries to go for the big old boot, is he going to be able to plant on that leg or not? So you at least add a bunch of variables if you're Johnny, because right now Kendrick is a far larger variable than you could come up with. So you have to come up with 2 or 3 extras to even the odds. And he did. But Kendrick still is the stronger dude. Catches Casanova in. Oh, he's going for a crossbody off the ropes. Catches him for a big, huge fall-away slam. Gets Casanova all the way to the other side of the ring. LaRoe does get the boot as Casanova comes for the run, but you can tell that the ankle's hurting and everything's hurting. He goes to pick up Johnny, probably to either go for a Superdome or something, but we will never, ever know because Johnny takes off the mask and absolutely face destroys Kendrick LaRoe with the mask. That mask wouldn't have fit Kendrick. I think it made Casanova mad. So he decided to stretch it, That was my old Coastal Crusader impression when he used to like make up garbage for the wake, like he was trying to stretch the mask or something. I'm not sure, but he used it right in front of Spicer. Spicer rings the bell, and Casanova takes a loss, as he should in this one. He knew he was outmatched, outpaced, outsped in every regard. Kendrick was just there, even with the bum leg and the bum ribs that he got exposed into the turnbuckle. This is just more stuff out of Casanova, but the heck with that. I want to talk about Kendrick. Kendrick being in the right place at the right time, getting a win over Casanova, looking good, even though he was hurting, man. Your starting lineup doing good things week in and week out, even without Coach Mac, John.
Where is he at?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, he might be out scouting.
No. Where's Kendrick on the list?
After this win tonight, Kendrick is at par. He's at 0.
Oh, he's at 0.
According to my sheet, Kendrick, he was at -1. He's had a little bit of a fall and some tag team matches in here and there and stuff like that, but he's back up to par now.
I mean, Kendrick was a point or two away from being able to qualify for the chase for 5. So I mean,
yep.
Him along with Briscoe has really stepped up their game over the past few months, and I believe Briscoe was up there for a time as well. I mean,
they both were up at like 3 and 4.
Those are going to be long-term contenders for this Ignition Championship for sure. And Kendrick is obviously no slouch. He's been improving as always. Keeps on, proving me wrong, because I was definitely anti-Kendrick at the beginning. But look at him now.
They've really developed, really learned the skills.
He's just doing big things. And honestly, he's really carrying your starting lineup right now without Coach Mac there. He's been that guy to kind of take everybody in. You saw what's going to happen in the next match between Echo and Abatu, that Kendrick was out there with him. Now, I don't know if there's a thing going on with your starting lineup. You see some members of your starting lineup going out by themselves. Some of them are paired up. I don't know. There hasn't been a lot coming out of the your starting lineup camp as of late, especially since Coach Mac has been gone. But in terms of just Kendrick as a whole, he seems to be holding that team together as well as he possibly can. And for a guy who's just got off his rookie year and is now, as of right now, leading your starting lineup into the future in 2023, I mean, the sky's the limit with Kendrick. Same with Briscoe as well.
Mm-hmm. The potential is there. All of the fuel is in the tank. There's just something that has to spark the rocket to just get them going. It was almost like your starting lineup was the thing on Ignition and for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then it seems as though in Coach Mac's absence, there's been a scramble to kind of fill the top and see who's going to be out there and divvying out, and not necessarily giving the orders, but who's going to be the coach, right? Every team needs the leader. Every team needs the coach. And since Mac hasn't been around for a while, and we hope he's cool wherever he is right now. I wish him nothing but the best. But at the same time, since he's been gone, somebody has to fill that. It's not going to be a Batu, because I don't know if he knows how to speak English or not, or whatever else he might be able to do. I know he speaks wrestling, but I don't know if he can communicate, thoughts and strategies and stuff. Teddy the Towel Boy, no. So it's going to be either. It's going to be either.
Since the last time he was out there, I think they were better off without him tonight.
You're not wrong. I'm starting to see why Ryan Justice thinks he's a pain in the ass. But anyway,
thank God Coastal wasn't here to hear that.
But no, anyway, it's going to be between Kendrick and Briscoe, and they're both so young and they're both kind of so fresh and new that they're both trying to find their own niche in the ring and in the locker room. But now they have to make sure that their own stable stays together and stays coherent. Because we've seen sometimes all it takes is one explosive element, and, the whole Lego house can come falling down if one little piece doesn't snap in right. So we just want to make sure everything's cool with starting lineup, They're hot. They're doing great. They're putting on awesome matches. We're seeing technical gems out of Briscoe, and then we're seeing slugfests out of him when he gets in the ring, like with Atiba. So we know they can go. We know they have different move sets and they have different mindsets, and they are growing. We want to make sure that this keeps going for a long time. So best of luck to your starting lineup. A little bit of disarray with what's going on the outside, but Kendrick and Briscoe definitely taking care of stuff in the middle of the ropes.
And as far as Casanova is concerned, I mean, it's nothing new here. We've been seeing this for the past couple of years now. It's the same old thing, and it even makes it worse because Casanova really doesn't lose anything in this match, so he gets disqualified, nothing happens.
Couldn't care less. No points. Kendrick gets the point. I mean, that's really it. He could still go back and shine up his tag team title belt and shine his mask because he probably got some sweat on him, so he can sit there and put all the old shoe polish on it.
I'm gonna bring this up because we saw it on Sunday during the rewind.
Yeah.
If that would have happened on a Charged, he would not be your tag team champion no more.
Oh, that would have happened a year ago.
Well, going back to the Vince Russo rules.
Right. That would have happened a freaking year ago. We've seen him so many times, like do something to cheat their way out of a match, whether it was for the titles or not even for the titles. Like tonight wasn't even for a title shot, let alone for one of the tag team belts. Like it was just a good competitive match on Ignition. Come on, Johnny, let's see what you got. Show the kid what's up.
Now, granted,
I'll just hit him in the face with a mask.
Granted, it wasn't a title match, obviously, but I don't know if that's still a thing. But they might want to tone that down a little bit there if that rule is going to be implemented.
Especially since that was just kind of reintroduced.
Yeah, that was just kind of reintroduced.
Johnny. Yes. Caden.
Oh,
not you. Them knuckleheads. Them knuckleheads, yes.
All right.
Not these knuckleheads. That's me and you. Damn knuckleheads. That's Johnny and Kate.
Moving on. Got another member of your starting lineup in action, and we definitely need to talk about what happened at the end of this match, because my God, there were some issues in the starting lineup camp when it came to Abatu tonight. Echo versus Abatu.
Interesting. The battle of speed, quickness, adaptability, improvisation, ingenuity, everything that encompasses Echo.
Monday Mockingbird.
Right? Against this giant mammoth of a man in a Batu that needs a belt. Sorry, it's been weeks. I had to say it. It's been weeks. I had to say it. However, today, Echo proved that today that has been the maybe the one thing that has not been holding your starting lineup together
is a belt.
Is the fact that there's no belt holding Abatu's pants up. And Echo goes to school on this, and I think this might have been his whole focus the entire match. In the beginning of the match, Echo was really trying to take Abatu down, right? He's not locking up with him because that's dumb. Why would you lock up over a center of gravity with a man who is like 2.5, 3 to 1? Your body mass, your weight. Don't do that. Echo is a large human being.
Echo is not a large human being. Abatu's a large human being.
Abatu is a large human being. Echo is not. So Abatu wins that hand-to-hand every single time. So Echo does the smart thing, trying to take Abatu off his feet, but Abatu's having none of it. And Abatu's getting Echo to the point where he's at a moment where he has to turn into a shoulder block, something big. Does a good job at just grounding Echo anytime with that big power move. We spoke about Damon. There'll be, an exchange here or there, but then a bang move, not even like a hip toss or something, just a gigantic shoulder, a big body slam, something that will plant you with more impact. And Abatu is another one of those guys on the RMP roster that does it so very well. Big clotheslines, and we see the neck stretch, like he's just trying to twist Echo's head off like that, really grounding, putting the weight on him. Echo does a good job at manipulating the weight to kind of use it to his advantage to get Abatu off balance behind him, fights himself up. But then he's getting some moves in. He gets the inseguri, the little back kick to the head for some space, and a couple body shots, some chops to the chest that were wicked loud. But then he tries to headbutt Abatu, and the mound of steel that man holds on top of his neck just did not allow Echo to have anything. Echo ended up hurting himself more on that headbutt. It's kind of like the rule in wrestling. Don't headbutt a Samoan. Don't headbutt anybody in the bloodline. Don't headbutt anybody of Samoan heritage. Also, don't headbutt Abatu. That thing is big, hot, and it's like a cannonball. It came in like a wrecking ball to you, and you don't want that at all. Echo finds out, but Echo's not knocked out. Ball. That song is just so stupid. Anyway, but you're right. That came in my head. Anyway, Abatu does end up focus. Van Dam. We're good.
Also, don't headbutt Sergey.
Don't headbutt Sergey either. No, because that you may not hurt yourself, but you're gonna wake him up too. So there's headbutt rules. There's like headbutt etiquette, I think you would call it, in the Rocky Mountain locker room. Abatu does get Echo up into the sky high. Nobody kicks out of the sky. Abatu's sky high. Echo kicks out of Abatu's sky high tonight. Big momentum switch right after that. Echo gets up, massive chops. Goes behind Abatu. Now, this whole last minute or two, Abatu has... Yeah, Jen says it right. Don't hit him in the muffin button. It's the muffin button on Sergey. The muffin button. Echo goes behind Abatu and sees that Abatu's struggling with the pants. Pulls the pants clean down to his ankles. Gets a kick on the side, and the beautiful float over cutter nails Abatu down. Echo gets the win, 1, 2, 3. In the battle of power versus speed and ingenuity won tonight. Echo gets the big win. Abatu is, your starting lineup looking good, winning one of their matches, albeit by DQ tonight, but Briscoe lost and Abatu lost. And at this moment in time, Abatu, I think, kind of lost of his own volition in this one. Like, I think this is something that he needs to really deal with going forward. Echo went to school on it. It's as legal as a headlock, as they'd like to say back in the day. But this is a good win for Echo. This is a big confidence win, Johnny, for somebody like Echo right now, needing some points and facing a massive man in Abatu tonight.
Did Echo get lucky tonight?
I wouldn't say lucky at all.
What happens if Abatu doesn't have a wardrobe malfunction?
I still think that Echo is creative and crafty enough to come up with something that gets the big man spinning in some way, shape, or form and finds a way to win. Echo does a great job. We see he's very similar to Remy D in this regard. There's not one way that Echo puts you down. A lot of wrestlers have like one, maybe two big finishers that is like, that's it. Echo, Remy, they have multiple ways of taking you out with like regular moves that set it up, and then out of nowhere you're getting hit with a float over cutter. Out of nowhere and the match is over. Or out of nowhere, you get a snap, crackle, pop from Remy D, just comes up next to you and bang. So you have to be ready at all times. And I think Echo will always be one of the wrestlers that carries that element of surprise into any match with him. I still think that his speed and his craftiness would have got him a win tonight, even without the wardrobe malfunction.
Well, if you look at this match, as the match went on, Abatu had control over this match about 80% of the time, let's say.
He did.
If you don't have that wardrobe malfunction at the rate that Abatu was going, I don't think I would look at Echo possibly standing up victorious in this match. I think Abatu was just on that type of a roll. I think Echo saw the opportunity, which he should, and pulled down those drawers and hit him with a cutter, and that was it.
Turned on the air conditioner.
But again, if Abatu doesn't have that, I don't think we'd be talking about Echo as the winner here in this match, in my opinion. I think Echo stole one. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Next time they wrestle, I bet you $5 Echo wins.
I mean, if you want to take that back, go right ahead. But no, I mean, Abatu looked good, all things considered, besides everything happening to him all at once. And Echo showing his XP bar. Again, we say this a lot tonight. There's been quite a bit of matches here where the XP bar definitely showed. This one is no different. However, I guess you could say he was more of an opportunist in this match to get a win. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say. But Echo has that.
But you have to.
Decision making.
Yes.
He has very
you
quick
have to have
adaptability.
You have to have that mindset, and you have to have that ability to be able to think on the fly in any given situation. And in wrestling, there are so many different situations that you could end up being in. And all it takes is one thing to happen, whether it's a turnbuckle pad that, gets untied and falls and have an exposed buckle. You have a wardrobe malfunction like we saw tonight. And they're just, or like an injury, which is mainly like the main cause of a lot of them. You see somebody gets injured in the match, you take advantage of the injury, and then you end up bringing your way home to the win. It
was Atiba and Briscoe earlier tonight. You saw that he twisted that ankle and took advantage of it at that moment.
Some people have it, some people don't, and Echo has it. And we've seen it multiple times from Echo, too. We've seen him get beaten down through 3/4 of the match and still finding ways to win just because of an opportune time.
Yep.
Something happens during the match and he capitalizes. So
exactly as he did this evening.
I think both men look good. I think Abatu, in my opinion, would have won this match if he didn't have the issue with his pants. But
just
again,
needs a belt,
you can't.
Walmart, $5.99.
Well, if he wins the Ignition Championship, he can use that as a belt.
He could definitely, that, and he'll be able to afford like a 2-pack of pant belts, like regular belts.
That's true.
You could afford more than a few.
But you can't take anything away from Echo. He used that opportunity to his advantage and ended up capitalizing for the win. There's nothing wrong with that.
I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing because I would have. If my opponent is struggling with part of what that is, I mean, you know what? You're not going to like take it off and choke him with it, but like you pull it down so everybody in the crowd laughs at him, and a moment of indecision later, and then bang, cutter. And he wins the match.
All right. Moving on to the main event of the evening, we have your number one contender for the Ignition Championship, Balaam Lynx, going up against your former Ignition champion in Sky Horseman.
Lucas said it very, very well in commentary. This was like both of these guys looking into a mirror at each other. Both wrestle very similar styles. They really do. They're not both, I would say, like pure aerial technicians. But even though Sky is a pilot, maybe when he's behind the wheel of an airplane, but in the ring, he uses the ropes sparingly when he needs them, like the corner to fly. Same thing with Balaam Lynx. His wrestling is a lot more mat-based, running. He does have some whisper in the wind, like he does the howl in the wind and such things, but not a lot. They ground a lot, and then they hit some big moves. They're very, very similar type wrestlers, and that's the beauty of the gem that we saw tonight. We saw some really very good pay-per-view level matches tonight, and this was another one on this card. Balaam Lynx versus Sky Horseman. I could watch this match anytime. Both in the beginning, very good feel and out point. We've seen the great technical work that guys put in with the go-behinds and the roll-throughs, and man, these guys put on a clinic of it. The hammer locks and the go-behinds. Balaam Lynx barrel rolls out of a headlock into like a reverse arm ringer, like a reverse wrist lock. It was absolutely gorgeous to watch these two guys go back and forth. Lynx does take the first advantage, though. He whips Sky off the ropes and gets a huge drop kick, like literally right on the button. And that takes Balaam Lynx to the races in the beginning of the match. And Lynx is doing a good job at grounding Sky, doing just good offense, just nothing flashy, but just the kicks and the corner work and just doing things the way Balaam does them and keeping the advantage. The crowd's on his side. POS on the outside. Remember, POS, Sky Horseman is a client of his now. So now we're going to see that guy, which tonight, he didn't have an orange suit jacket. Tonight, he came out in what looked like a $3.50 orange cardigan. That might have been something from somewhere else, and he just dyed it with like the dye that you can buy at like Michael's and stuff. It was like even orangier, is that a word? Than his regular jacket. So Well, either way it is now when they had to dim the lights in the Wimmer just so other people's eyes didn't explode. So he was out there. He distracts Balaam. And at that moment, that's all Sky needs to just like get back in and hit a crossbody, knock Lynx off his feet, and take his own advantage up. Now he's working really good. He's keeping Lynx down, and then he whips him into the corner. Sky Horseman looking like he came to play tonight with Balaam Lynx. Like there was no intimidation. There was no fear. This is a #1 contender for the Ignition title. This is a man that has held the Charge Championship. This is a man that's been in tag team title matches with his friend Echo and La Isla. Like this is Balaam freaking Lynx right here. Sky Horseman, you're doing a good job, kid. And he's doing very, very well. Lynx ends up having no choice. He has to duck out of the way of a second corner run that Sky tries to bring in. Big springboard clothesline off of the top rope. Gets a really close near fall. Sky gets whipped into the ropes and manages to duck himself out of the top rope and kind of get to the outside. And he's playing like he's all hurt and injured. And out in the outside, just wasting time. Lynx comes out to get him. And this is where Lynx makes a mistake. He's in the center of the ring. He has the top position. He has the dominant position. He should have waited for Sky. But Balaam Lynx is a fighter. He's a champion, even though if he doesn't have a championship, he is a champion. He goes out to finish his battle. This is where Sky takes advantage, knocks him into the ring post a couple times, and just attacking him on the outside. The barrels are in play, everything else. Lynx is hurt and gets back in the ring after getting his arm worked over real hard on the ring apron. Sky with a few big stomps. I mean, the advantage is going back and forth in this match. And Sky Horseman is impressing dudes. Like coming out and having these fantastic matches with people the likes of Echo, people the likes of Balaam Lynx. Like this is a fantastic main event to watch this match on a show that had like 4 matches that would have main evented. This match was that good. Lynx ends up coming back in, gets a short, quick moment of space, and does his beautiful front flip leg drop right down on the Sky's face, gets a near fall this close. They both get up, and we get a double cross body moment. There's a double down. Both guys are down. Sky ends up getting up first, makes a run at Balaam. Balaam dodges it like Matrix, dodges out of the way of the clothesline, like he back bridged himself. It was gorgeous. Gets back up as Sky comes off the ropes the other side. Animality straight to the jaw hole, and then we see the beautiful brainbuster coming down, and Sky is sleeping, counting daisies. Sheep are going over the moon and the fence and anything else that can jump over, anything else that you can count to go to sleep. And Balaam Lynx is your winner tonight as Sky Horseman is out cold, and POS is left to wonder why. John, this is a fantastic main event on a show of shows. Rocky Mountain is really up in the game on Ignition. And both of these guys, Balaam Lynx, but Sky Horseman really showing up on a show that he held the title for. You think he's holding it maybe personal to himself to have some great matches and some great moments on the show?
Who, Sky?
Yes, because he's up in the game. He's really up in his game with guys like Balaam Lynx and guys like Echo.
Well,
I think
he has been since his return.
Waist.
He's one of the longer tenured ones in Rocky Mountain Pro. He's been around for a long time. He took a few years off.
He took a break, though. Took a long break.
Yeah, he took a break to become a pilot, man. And now look at him.
That is true. He's still flying high.
He's still flying high. Former Ignition champion, too, to boot. So, no, everybody's stepping up their game. You want to know why? Do you want to know why everybody's stepping up their game? Because you got the Grand Prix coming up.
Close.
And everybody wants their spot.
Time.
Everybody wants their spot. It's March Madness, baby.
I love bracket time.
So, I'm not surprised in this match. When I first saw this match, I saw nothing but good things to come out of it, and I wasn't disappointed, that's for sure. Sky Horseman does what he does. And Balaam and Echo are not just chasing, Ignition titles and everything. It's nice to add that into the little suitcase that they have, but their mind is primarily, I should say, focused on JK Pop and those tag titles, especially what happened at Aces Wild. So both Echo and Balaam getting wins tonight, and Johnny Casanova putting himself in a corner with a DQ loss, man. I don't know. Momentum right now is on La Isla's side at the moment. They're winning
Big time.
matches. JK Pop's either barely squeezing out wins or they're getting themselves DQ'd. It's not looking good for the champions right now, honestly.
This is the most vulnerable that we've seen them look in a long time.
And you can tell.
Yes.
By the way that they've been acting over the past few weeks. They're not the normal JK Pop.
Nope.
It seems like it seems like the whole law office in general is in disarray.
As it gets bigger and bigger, it's so much harder to be more and more focused on the littler things that were more important before. Now Preston has so much going on with so many different people. Look, does JK Pop need Preston to help them win? No.
They didn't need him before.
No, they didn't. He's pulled out a few.
They didn't need the wake before either.
Cards. No, but they've gone and they use something until they've outlived its usefulness. And then, like, they endeavor.
And then they walk away.
I couldn't believe they did that. Then they walk away.
They walk away. And what do you think is going to happen here?
If they were smart, if they were wicked smart, which they're not, they're good at wrestling, but they're not wicked smart. They would just future endeavor Preston and go back and focus on Caden and Johnny 100% of the time. And then maybe we'd get that super overconfident but team that backed it up almost every single time. JK Pop. Only time will tell if that ends up happening again. I personally hope it doesn't. Personally hope it never does. Love to see La Isla walk out with tag team belts around, or your starting lineup with the 3-ring circus, or any tag team, maybe except the OGs. But almost any tag team, I'd love to see walk out.
The OGs have their own issues right now going.
Oh, yes, they do. They have way their own issues right now. Somebody ought to tell Plunquet you're not supposed to drink a bottle before you go wrestle a match.
Oh, it's not just Plunquet. Charge this week, you had Derek Stone costing them a match.
He did?
Yeah.
He did. He stepped up and messed everything up, and there's a rift. There's a big rift in the OGs.
There is something going on with the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they hopefully they can put it together before they're the last one standing in this tournament. Because right now, if you're the last one standing in that tournament on charge, you are no longer a tag team.
Do you really think that would bother them too much, though? Do you really think that would? They seem like a bunch of singles guys that band together in common cause.
Maybe some of them.
I see Derek Stone just going off on his own path and just like creating craters.
Well, he kind of already did. He kind of already did.
Yeah. Mitchell Taylor's always seemed to be pretty much I'm sorry, his lordship, Mitchell Taylor, has always seemed to be, very much. He thinks he's I got it right enough. All right. Like,
Lord Mitchell Taylor the third, I believe.
The third of the fourth divided by 2 equals pi. Yeah, that's cool. So
equals 2.
No, you can't divide by 0.
Say that one more time.
I said you can't divide by 0. What are you talking about?
What do you mean 0? I
don't know.
Where'd you get 0
17.
out of?
I have no idea. We started doing math, and I suck at algebra. So I don't throw letters out there. I just throw random numbers into the ether.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, continue then.
But anyway, no. I would still just rather almost see anybody walk out of the next show or the next time the tag team titles need to be defended, other than JK Pop walking out with them. And right now, your starting lineup and then your Isla is on top of that list. And I would love to see them just kind of end this so that JK Pop can just go deal with their own personal stuff that they have, because they both have enough personal stuff to just fill an oven worth of a week's worth of lasagna right now. They got to deal with that first. You don't want to burn it. They got to deal with that and then come back. But in the meantime, it may be very, very close for JK Pop to pay the piper.
Jenna on Twitch has also made a valid point that Lola as a distraction for the usually more level-headed Koyama too might be an issue.
That's what started it, in my personal opinion. That's what started it. When Lola came in and started looking towards like Preston and JK Pop for advice, and when the law office first expanded, that's when things started to change. Koyama got eyes for Lola. Preston saw that now things were changing and they had to keep Lola on board. and he wasn't focusing as much on what he had to do. Now look, now they've expanded in Sky Hossman, Marty Casaus. And right now, Marty Casaus seems to be Preston's priority, because that's what we heard about the other night on Charge, and we heard about it last week on Charge when Marty Casaus would make his announcement. That's where Preston's true focus has been. J.K. Pop is taking the short end of the stick here. However, I think it's a stick that they ripped off the tree. So it may end up being that the problem that they have was something that they created themselves. We'll have to see how this pans out, but right now, I think J.K. Pop is in a spiral, downward spiral.
All right. Well, that's going to conclude our Dudes and Belts Reignited portion of the show. Or I should say the Ignited portion of this show. Mr. Pins.
Yes, sir.
Go over the point standings as of right now.
So, as I have it right here, I have not been in communication with anybody from Rocky Mountain Pro to verify this. So, this is unofficial, but this is as of last week and then adding and minusing. We do have our number one contenders match set. Balaam Lynx versus Zamore. That'll happen at a later date. Maybe Never Broken. We don't know. That's what I would assume as of right now, but I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the coming weeks as we do get closer to the big event in early March on the 11th, I believe, March 11th. Right now, in a second place after Balaam and Zamora, we have the Vibe, Brad Radowski still holding at 4, but Atiba with the win tonight over Briscoe climbs to 4 points. He is now the next guy after Balaam and Zamora right now, who is the closest shot of getting into the next Ignition Championship match. As I see it right here, Atiba has 4, Brodowski has 4. Bruce Wayne's sitting in third place with 3 points.
But he's gone.
We do now but he's gone right now. However, I haven't heard anything to take him off or to whatever it is. So for now, I'm leaving him there. As we hear more, he'll either be taken off the list or we'll see what happens. But then we have a couple superstars at 2. Curtis Cole earned a 2nd point tonight. We have Brew still holding strong at 2 points. And as I go down my list, that is it. Then at 1 point, Damon Ace, Ray Leone, Angel Del Paz, Niles Plonquet, Derek Stone. So not a lot has changed right down in there. Sky Hossman lost a point tonight. He's down to 0. Briscoe and Kendrick both lost a point tonight. They're also down to 0. And Kendrick did not lose. Kendrick gained, so he gained himself back to 0. And I'm sorry, everybody, my list is not in order. I'm just trying to go through it here. Echo still holding strong at a point. So there's still a few people within a couple matches.
Did he gain that point tonight?
He did gain that point tonight. He was at par as I had him from last week. He gets 1 tonight. He's at 1 point. Derek Stone, like I said, Damon Ace, Ray Leone. So good matches. Points chase is heating up, but we do have a number one contenders match. We do have Balaam Lynx, who looked as strong as Balaam could look tonight. And we have Zamore, so we have that to look forward to. And Atiba has that to look forward to also, sitting right there in second place.
And I do believe...
Jen, that's Maki math.
And I do believe next week there will be a face-off between Balaam Lynx and Zamore before their title match.
I heard Lucas say that. I cannot wait to see that. That's going to be, look, somebody lately who has been carrying enough intensity for the entire locker room has been Zamore. If you've seen him, we saw him have a match with Mick Diamond. That didn't go well for the young man. We see him come out and be just intensity. We see him just knowing where his focus is at. He is so focused. He is so game face every time he's out here. This is going to be intensity versus absolute intensity. I can't wait to see this stare down, and I can't wait for the match either. They've wrestled each other before. We knew they would wrestle each other again. How are they going to react to each other when the title is on the line?
Since Coastal isn't here, we're just going to go with you. Your beacon of the week.
My beacon of the week. You know, if we go by last night, I'm sorry, we go by tonight and we go by charge.
It goes by the week.
I have to say Atiba. Right now, we've given flowers to other people. We haven't mentioned Atiba's name in this section in a long time. I see something, and you pointed it out, and we talked about it earlier tonight, that he's stopped with the uppercuts. He's stopped with the DQs. He's still kind of a knucklehead. He's still kind of an ass when he's out there. However, he's not taking the shortcuts because he knows he doesn't have to. This is the definition. You go out there and you still kind of be, like a dink. You still kind of be a knucklehead. But you're going out there and getting it done the way you're supposed to get it done. And we can at least respect that. And all that we saw him putting Bruce Wayne's through the paces, he's got a plan from that. If you didn't see that on Charge, go back and watch that. He's putting Bruce through the paces. And then tonight, the match that he had with Briscoe Crown was exemplary. I want to give the Beacon of the Week to Atiba.
My Beacon of the Week is not just going to be one person this week.
That's cheating.
It's not cheating.
That's cheating.
I run the show. It's not cheating.
That's all right. Whatever. Who's your beacon?
There you go. My Beacon of the Week go to Sin Bodhi and Jason Taylor. Is that worthy, sir? Is that worthy?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All right. I didn't know we could give a whole match a beacon.
I wasn't going to. I typically don't. But what I saw on Tuesday, I'm like, I can't just pick one of these guys. I got to pick both of them.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The match was fantastic. It was really good.
Sin Bodhi and Jason will share my pick.
All right. All right.
Again, great match. Went to a time limit draw. That whole feud between West Texas and really Sin Bodhi and Three Ring Circus is not over. Seems like the Three Ring Circus are getting themselves into quite a bit of feuds lately with some of these factions that have been around RMP, and they're standing tall right now.
Very tall. All the organized Wonderland, the Legacy. You have the OGs. The OGs are in a little bit of turmoil here, but when they're on, they're on. So there's a lot of groups out there that are jockeying for a lot of different points, especially in this tag team tournament, where if you keep winning, it's over. So, yeah, it's an interesting time right now to be in a tag team or to be in a stable in Rocky Mountain Pro. It's a very interesting time. But you know what, bro? You are not wrong. 110. That match with Bodhi and Justin was fantastic. It really was. That's a cool beacon.
All right. Obviously, we have Never Broken coming up March 11th on Fite TV. If you're on Twitch, there's links on the channel provided below. What was that? Oh, yeah, okay. You're just being a goofball. I get it. All right.
Yeah. What do you want? It's like 11:30. Sure.
So, links are below if you want to take a look at Rocky Mountain Pro's page. I don't think it's ready for pre-order just yet. We are still about a month away from it, so probably within the next few weeks it'll be available for pre-order. But if you want to go check out like Milestone or Shocktober or NRW or Peak of the Pack or last year's Never Broken, if you want to relive that was a very special day. And yeah, you can go back through the archives, and once you buy the pay-per-views, you own it for life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's only $13.
And I believe on Fite, if you follow the content creator, like you would go on Fite, not just look for the show, but go to Rocky Mountain Pro themselves. I believe you can, like their equivalent of follow or whatever it might be, you'll get notifications when pre-orders are up.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I don't know. It's however it's like a follow or a subscribe on whatever website. Fite has one as well, and I believe if you click the button on Rocky Mountain's page, you'll get notifications whenever a pre-order is available or whenever something new is added.
So go on Fite right now. Go to the page and hit that goddamn button.
Hit the button in the place, dude.
Just do
it. Don't ask me why. I don't want to hear it. All right. I'll tell your mother that you didn't do the thing. Just go do it. Go over there and do the thing. I'll tell your mother. I swear to God.
It's a free button push.
Free button.
It's a free button push.
Just don't drop the button.
You can also watch. You can also watch past episodes of Charge for free. Also. on their page. So
there's a lot of content on the Rocky Mountain page, way more than just some of the more recent shows. There's a ton of content to go through. Go over there, check it out.
all right. As far as Sunday is concerned, I know we were talking a little bit on. I know we were talking a little bit on Tuesday about possibly not having a show due to the Super Bowl. Well, I changed my mind.
What?
We are gonna have a show, and we will have a rewind. It might just be myself. I think Yaden wanted to hop on. He mentioned that on Tuesday that he wanted to do a rewind, so we might have a Yaden sighting here on the Rocky Mountain Rewind this week.
Cool. I'll be here. I'll be at the lanes anyway.
You'll be here?
Melissa. Yep. Mrs. Pins is going over to her friend's house and taking the kids over there. They're doing all that because I'll be here at the lanes working anyway.
All right.
So I get no problem.
You'll be the
I
only
don't have
dude.
to watch the game.
You'll be the only two because Coastal has a legit reason. He's currently about ready or is north of the border right now.
He is very international right now. Yes.
And then obviously the other two, they just want to watch football. So
yeah. I just want my squares to hit. I don't care about either team. I'm not a football guy. Hockey, baseball, thank you. So I watch the Super Bowl for my squares. But the beautiful part, you don't have to watch the game if your squares hit. You'll find out later. So let's do a show. That's cool.
So yes, I changed my mind. We're doing a show. We're doing a Rocky Mountain Rewind. As of right now, we're doing episode 2, and you will be seeing wrestling.
2.
Yes.
It was 2.
Rocky Mountain Pro charged episode 2. Because this would be like 107 or 108 technically in its lifetime. But for Rocky Mountain Pro specifically, it will be episode 2.
Sounds good. Yeah. I loved that first episode that they did. Basically, like just explaining, outlining some major stories, showing the venues, showing some back history. That was cool stuff that you don't ordinarily get to see. Even out of any real company. Like that's always the thing when you walk into something new. A lot of it you can get into it like from now till forward, but if you hadn't seen anything before now, it's kind of tough to get as invested. Something like that would get you invested immediately if you watch that. So that was very, very cool that they did that opening, and look forward to seeing that first real RMP charged, not NRW charged.
So
because I've seen some of that old NRW stuff. Yaden used to show it, and Bud Bellflower used to show it when they did the rewind. They were doing a good job. I'm so happy that we're doing the rewind now. That's pretty cool. Very cool that we get to do the rewind.
So that will be live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And actually, the Super Bowl will almost be over. Would be in like probably roughly the third quarter or so by the time we go live. So, and at that point, depending on the score or the outcome, people just might say screw it and just come watch some wrestling with us. So,
hopefully.
So we're gonna do this. We're gonna go live on Super Bowl Sunday for the first time. Here we go.
We'll see what happens.
Do. All right. Let's wrap this show up. 1:30 in the morning.
Don't say that. Sledge doesn't want to hear about being wrapped up. Let's not use those words.
What do you mean? We don't even know what happened.
He got wrapped up in a damn bag.
He didn't get wrapped up. He was in the process of being wrapped up.
He looked pretty burrito to me. All he needed was some like hot sauce.
You don't even know what happened because nobody knows what happened because nobody know what happened to Rekka, for freak's sake.
I mean, that's true too. The whole thing ended with a giant question mark, but yo, bag.
Yo, bag.
Yo, just bag.
Just bag. All right. Let's say goodnight to YouTube, shall we?
Good night, YouTube.
All right,
Thank
everybody.
You for coming to watch.
Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. As always, greatly appreciate you. Don't forget, again, repeat for the 4th freaking time, Rocky Mountain Pro Rewind will be live on Sunday. Yes, I know it's during the Super Bowl. Well, we don't care. So, because we don't care. The Patriots are not in the Super Bowl, nor is the Denver freaking Broncos. So we don't care.
And in life, if we don't mind, it don't matter.
Correct.
So let's do it.
So we're gonna be signing off, guys. We'll be live on Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, over here on YouTube and Twitch for the Rocky Mountain Rewind. Hosted by myself, Marky Pins, and possibly the founder of Rocky Mountain Pro, Mercury Yaden. Until then, folks, we'll see you guys then. I just had a brain fight. I'm so tired. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, folks.
Thank you, everyone.